welcome to Fox Sports Lab NRL. I'm Eloise Sohier and I'm joined with greats Josh Morris and Chris Lawrence alongside stats guru Tim Williams. To kick things off this week, we're going to tweak our highlights and blowtorch segment and take an early peek at the Dally M count. The Broncos have 3 in the top 5, Payne Haas, Adam Reynolds and Reece Walsh. Can they keep this and maintain their rage, Chris?
I think they can. All three, have started the year on fire, and it's a big part about why the Broncos have started so well. And I think if the Broncos are going to go deep into the finals and have a chance of winning the premiership, it's going to come down to those three. If I was to pick one, it could be Adam Reynolds. I think both Payne Haas and Reece Walsh might be involved in State of Origin, and that middle period of the year, they might miss a few games, might be a bit flat. So it'll be a big opportunity for Adam to step up and grab some points. Has
Reece Walsh been the difference this season for the Broncos to see them on such a run?
He's been phenomenal, hasn't he? It's been 10 line break assists in 3 games for him. It's some pretty stunning numbers for a bloke. Obviously, going to a new club, trying to forge new combinations with the blokes around him. I think he's been the big difference, just the silk on the end of their backline movements this season.
We haven't seen much of Nicho Hynes this season. He only returned on the weekend, but he was so impressive. 6 points to the Dally M. He's last year's Dally M winner. Can he go back-to-back, Josh?
Oh, I think he can if he has performances like that. Their attack was probably clunky without him, and they just looked like a completely different side and stacked on the points, and a big reason of that was because of Nicho. So if he continues that form, there's no doubt he can win it again.
Well, another player that's been super impressive this season has been Jacob Kiraz for the Bulldogs. I mean, we really haven't heard much about him up until 2023. What have you made of his form so far?
Oh, he's been outstanding for the Dogs. Gets through a mountain of work, and if they win, it's normally on the back of his tough work coming out of his own end. So if the Bulldogs can pick up a few wins throughout the season, he's going to be a big part of those wins and probably score points as well.
Do you think it's been surprising, given the fact they've got Matt Burton, Viliami Kikau, Reid Marnie, some big name players. They've been playing some good football, without winning every single game. Yet he's polled a lot of points. Has done a lot of that tough work, but isn't one of those big name players that a lot of talk about at the start of the season.
Yeah, well, I think you look at Josh Adokar on the other wing, Australian player, and had a wonderful World Cup series. Jacob played for Lebanon and had just as good a series. He would want to be talked in the same realm as Josh Adokar, and at the moment he's probably playing better than him. So to have a winger on that other side of the field encourages you to play well, and I think we're seeing that.
We talk about the outside backs of the Bulldogs. Let's focus our attention to some forwards who are up there in the Dally M count at the moment. Tino Fasuamala-Awe and also Payne Haas. A surprise, Tim, or they've been impressive?
Not a surprise in terms of this season, just because of how good they have been for their respective clubs. I think if we're talking long-term and looking at the Dally M winner, can a middle forward, or even a forward for that matter, take the most coveted prize in the NRL? History would suggest not. The last forward to win it outside of hookers was Jason Taumalolo in 2016. He shared that with Cooper Cronk. Before Taumalolo, we've got to go all the way back to 1988 and 89 when Gavin Miller, the Sharkies legend, went back-to-back for a forward to win it, as I said, outside of a number 9. So I think for middle forwards like Payne Haas and Tino Fasuamala, to do it week in, week out, as good as they are, it's a long, long season ahead. So we'll see if they can break that curse.
Well, we've been talking about the highs of the Dally M's. Let's put the blowtorch on some of the lowlights, perhaps, or players that aren't quite in the conversation yet. Nathan Cleary, he's not quite there this season. Are we surprised by that, Chris?
I don't think so. I think they've had a bye as well, so that's one less opportunity that he has had, and then obviously had a loss, and they haven't set the world on fire. So I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about. They'll find their groove, and it's going to come off the back of Nathan Cleary and their star. So I think for them, and I think you'll find by around 12 to 14, you'll really start to see the pack sort themselves out, and I think you'll be there.
Just lastly, Cody Walker and also a number of Rabbitohs players aren't in the conversation. Latrell Mitchell, is that sort of expecting from what they've done so far in 2023? Yeah,
like Chris said, I think they've had a loss as well, and they haven't hit their straps just quite yet. I think Cody was outstanding on the weekend. They got a big game against the Storm this weekend. So if they get another back-to-back win, I think Cody features there and scores points as well. So like Chris said, I think mid-season we'll probably start to see the emerging leaders and who's in with the best shot at winning this Dally M.
Yes, plenty to talk about, and that's our early take on the Dally M Awards.
League is life. It's exhilaration, anticipation, highs and highlights. League is everything. That's why we've made a betting brand for League fans. That's better. Chances are you're about to lose.